hope you're having a great day and are doing well. This video is a gotta try, pass it by on ColourPop's new pressed eyeshadows. They released earlier in the month of January, and there's about 20 plus shades, and they retail for $5 each. You're able to buy the shadows individually. For every 4 shadows you buy, you do get a free eyeshadow palette to place them in. So for 20 bucks, you get 4 shadows and a little place to keep your eyeshadows nice and safe. Now they do have 2 pre-made palettes. One was called the Low Key palette, and those had really nice warm orange tones. And then there was the palette called High Maintenance. This one kind of had rose gold and berry tones. Both of these palettes were $18, so you do get a price break because you're getting 4 eyeshadows and you are getting the little palette to protect them. Pick up the High Maintenance palette in 3 eyeshadow singles. So let's talk about the High Maintenance palette first. This is how it comes housed outside of its little cardboard shell that says High Maintenance on the back. You can see the packaging has stars, really nice and fun how ColourPop usually does. And then there's like the see-through window, so you're able to kind of see the shadows inside. It has a little magnetic closure that kind of keeps them protected, and there is a film that's over your shadows to also keep them protected. And then you open it up and it says Made You Look. Here are your 4 shadows. They do pop out, so you can put these wherever you'd like or kind of switch them out if you want to. It is pretty thick. I will kind of give you a profile view. It is kind of thick. Would I like a thinner palette? Yes. Do I mind this? No. The back of the sleeve lets you know the name of the palette, the 4 eyeshadows in it, and also the ingredients. I do want to note that the second ingredient in these eyeshadows is talc, so if that's something that you try to stay away from in your makeup, these shadows may not be for you. Let's go into swatches of the shadows that come in the High Maintenance palette. High Maintenance palette is described as a cranberry palette filled with rosy and burgundy shades in mixed finishes to create a soft and romantic look. And the shades in the High Maintenance palette are Just in Time, which is a satin soft gold shade, Strung, which is described as a metallic dusty rose, Get Out, which is described as a matte cool cranberry, and Cute Alert, which is described as a matte deep burgundy. And as you can tell, those last 2 matte shades kind of swatch patchy, not as vibrant as Just in Time and High Strung. The shade swatch that come in the High Maintenance palette, that shade High Strung, which is described as a metallic dusty rose, seem pretty similar to 2 shades that I have from ColourPop already. So I did swatch them side by side for you just so you can kind of see how they compare. So here is La La swatched with High Strung, and they look pretty similar. I also swatched the shade Weenie from Kathleen Lights, Where the Night Is, and they are really similar, so that might be a deciding factor whether you want the palette or you don't want the palette, because you might feel like you already have shades similar to that. But those are in the same color family, so if you like those pinky rosy metallic golds, that might be a shade that you might want to get your hands on. Pick up 3 individual shadows in addition to the High Maintenance palette, and those 3 shadows are Come and Get It, which is described as a metallic dual chrome rose with a gold flip, I also picked the shade Save It for Later, which is described as a metallic amber shade, lastly, I picked up the shade Top Notch. This is a matte terracotta brown shade, and as you can see, this one, I would say swatch poorest out of all of the 7 that I had. Probably looking at those swatches and thinking this is probably going to be a pass it by, but as you're going to see in the tutorial, which I'm going to put at the end of this video, I'm actually going to say this is a gotta try. These shadows, the matte ones, kind of swatch for me kind of terrible, but the way that they apply to the lid was actually pretty nice. I'm wearing them right now, and this is the look that you're going to see in the tutorial. And they actually blended out really nicely and were pigmented. There is some fallout with these shadows, so I highly recommend that you tap off any excess off your brush, or else you will get the fallout underneath your eyes. But they actually perform really nicely. I do wear eyeshadow primer because I have oily lids, and they last all day, and I'm really happy with the look I came up with. Some unique shades. I think the shade Come and Get It, this pink duochrome, is something very unique that a lot of people are going to love. You can use it on your cheeks if you wanted to, on the lid, inner corner. I just felt like this was a really unique shade, but these actually wear better than they swatch, because I know when you see the swatches, it's like, and I was like, too. I was really disappointed at first, but as I played with them and used them on my lids, I was really pleased with how they blended and how they performed. Now we're going to go ahead and jump into the tutorial. For the tutorial, I used the Top Notch shade because it swatched so poorly that I really wanted to put it to the test and show you how it applies with a brush on your lids with primer. And I used every shade in the High Maintenance palette. We're starting out with an eyeshadow primer. I'm using the Urban Decay primer potion in the anti-aging formula, and I'm putting that all over to the lids to make sure that the eyeshadow stays put. Up next, I'm taking the matte shade Top Notch, and I'm going to apply that with a fluffy brush, and I'm just putting that in my crease as my transition shade. And this shade applies a lot better than its swatch. You're able to build it up, and I really do like this as a transition shade. Next, dipping into the shade Get Out, I'm applying that just below the Top Notch shade onto the lid and blending that together so it looks seamless. Next shade I'm going into is Cute Alert. It's that deep burgundy, and I'm applying that into the outer V of my eyelid just to kind of deepen things up. And I take a fluffy brush just to kind of blend everything out. Then I went into the shade High Strung. That's that really pretty metallic rose gold shade, and I'm just placing that on the center of my lid close to the Cute Alert shade. Then going back into the shade Top Notch, I'm just blending everything together into the crease so it looks nice and seamless. Then I also wanted to go back and darken that outer V, so I go back into the shade Cute Alert just to kind of deepen things. And then taking a makeup wipe, I'm just wiping any fallout underneath my eyes. So I applied foundation and concealer, and I will have that listed down below. But going back into that shade Top Notch, I'm going to take that on a pencil brush and apply that on my lower lash line and buff it out. Taking my NYC liquid liner, I'm just lining my eyes. You can do a wing if you'd like, but I really do like this eyeliner. It's really affordable. Now I'm going in with my Ardency in Modster eyeliner in black and lining my waterline, and taking Urban Decay Perversion mascara and applying that to my lashes. going into the shade Just in Time, that gold shade, I'm going to apply that in my inner corners of my eyes just to add a little brightness. I took a little bit of lip gloss. I will have the name linked down below just to kind of finish off the look. You could definitely do a bolder lip if you wanted. And that is how everything turned out. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.